Welcome into the CHGO Bedard Podcast. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen and Mario Tirabassi. Hope your Thursday is going great. It is great to see everybody hanging out on the YouTube channel, hanging out in the chat. Make sure you smash that like button for us on the YouTube page. Make sure you follow the YouTube page as well. Subscribe to it, all that good stuff. Same deal with your favorite podcast app. Hit that follow or subscribe button and take 30 seconds to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So today was the day, folks. Connor Bedard made his official Blackhawks practice debut. Now, he has been working out with the team for several weeks, but this was the first official rookie practice thing that Connor Bedard took part in, and he looked good.
Yeah, once he got that first turnover out of the way,
what the hell?
He was fine.
First shot sailed over the net. So enjoy Regina, kid. You can't hack it here.
Yeah, it was fun. You know, it's we talked to Anders Sorensen about how these practices work and what they're kind of looking for, and it is kind of hard to glean too much from it because there's so many drills, and some of the drills, like turnovers, are built into them.
Right.
Like, here, turn the puck over. Great, now this begins the drill. Right, so there's so many crazy things going on at once that it's hard to really, comprehend what you're seeing without a trained coach's eye. But I will say, he very clearly is the most skilled guy on that ice by a wide margin. Just the stick handling in close, some of the moves he made. I think also, like, there were some times where you could tell he was holding back a little bit, wasn't going full speed, full bore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's his first day on the ice with this group. You know, he's been all over the place with the BioSteel camp. He was at the Players Media Tour. He was at the Upper Deck Rookie Showcase. Like, he's been going all over the place. So to come here, get on the ice with the rest of the prospect group and everything, there's some revving up that he'll have to do to get up to game speed, and we'll talk about that process of getting ready for training camp and everything in a little bit. But I think just getting out there looking like the guy that we're all kind of expecting him to look like, at least going at 75-80%, I think is a good indication. It's good to get him on the ice and get him ready, because there are some high expectations for him this season. You don't have to hear it from us that there are high expectations from him this season. Our friends at PHNX, they were, as much as they believe Logan Cooley is the greatest prospect on the ice this season, I think Connor Bedard is probably head and shoulders above Cooley, and PHNX kind of had to get that message directly to them.
Yeah, we're going to play this to start the show. You're later in the show, you're going to hear from Connor Bedard. We also talked to Kevin Korchinski, Nolan Allan, Ryder Rolston, so a whole bunch of audio from practice coming. But this was on the PHNX show yesterday. Former NHL player Darcy Hordichuk jumped on with our pals at PHNX and just sort of out of nowhere offered some thoughts on Connor Bedard that we think are going to make all of you very, very happy.
I just spent 2 weeks in Vancouver.
Yes.
And this Connor Bedard kid, he is beyond the real deal.
Seriously, at the rookie showcase.
This guy skated with Barzal, Nugent Hopkins. He was on the ice with Kent Johnson. And in my mind, besides Barzal, I thought he was the best player on the ice. And there's a bet, I think, if you look for Rookie of the Year,
Calder. Yep.
He is going to get
a lock, huh?
Hands down. He's a lock. I mean, not only a lock, but look at how many points he's going to put in.
Oh, no.
It's going to be the over on the points too, because when you see him skate around there with all these ex-NHL or all the current NHL guys that are top players, and he's still dominating, it's pretty impressive. And he has one thing in mind, and it is all hockey. It's business. He would go from 5-on-5 games for an hour and a half to then a 3-on-3 game for another 30, 40 minutes. And then my kid was out there skating with him, and he just worked with my kid for like 45 minutes, just shooting pucks and teaching him the game. And that's what you want. You cheer for guys that are good people. And you're not getting a Johnny Manziel. You're going to get the real deal.
Part of that video is the clear pain in the faces of Petey and Craig and Leah. They look so... that's really great to hear.
Yeah.
This is
Gritted
really
teeth,
wonderful stuff you're telling us, Darcy Hordichuk.
By the way, Darcy Hordichuk, one of the best hockey names of all time.
That's a
Anytime there's a Chuck in
fantastic
there.
name. Yeah.
Andrew Chuck, Kachuk, Hordichuk,
Yeah.
Darcy
Matvachuk.
If he introduces himself, "Hi, I'm Darcy Hordichuk," I'm immediately going, "You played hockey."
You played hockey.
I think you have to.
Such a great hockey
If there's
name.
a Chuck in your name, you played hockey.
But
That's for sure.
no, those are great comments, and you're right. You could and thanks to Leah for sending us that clipping it for us and getting it to us. It's really good stuff there.
Yeah, any more times that you guys talk about Connor Bedard, send him our way.
Yeah,
It's
I
fine.
mean, I know, as you said, I'm sure it was a little
Unprovoked.
stung a little bit that they had to talk about him. But I mean, hey, blame your GM for not trading away guys sooner.
Real quick, Mike Ulitz, I put it up on the screen earlier, but I just wanted to give him a shout out. First live show caught since his daughter was born 7 weeks ago.
Nice.
Congratulations.
There you
Congrats,
go,
Mike.
Congratulations, Mike.
Mike,
And
get to sleep when you can. I don't know what you're doing right now.
Hold that baby up in
Appreciate
front
it,
of the
though.
screen.
Yeah.
Indoctrination in the Hawks
Yeah,
land.
there you go.
hopefully he's she's a part of the new generation of Hawks fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff from
Pretty awesome.
PHNX Coyotes as always. I mean, we like to kid with them, but few crews cover the game better than they do.
No, it's
Yeah,
great stuff,
absolutely.
and we again thank you for sending that over. But yeah, just so some of the drills we saw, there was 2-on-1 drills, 2-on-2. They had one towards the end where it was a shot, like a distant shot from the slot, followed by a breakaway. I know Bedard scored on one, and Camesso stopped him on another. I can't wait to see him in a game.
Yeah.
Right, where you're really going to be able to see him go all out against a common opponent. And you could tell, like Hordichuk said, all this kid wants to do is play hockey.
Yes.
And he said it today. He was asked, "Are you tired of talking and you just want to play?" Yes. He's, like you said, Mario, all the things he's been doing over the last few months, and even prior to the draft, having to do pre-draft meetings and the combine and traveling all over the world. All Connor Bedard wants to do is start playing meaningful hockey, and he finally gets that chance this weekend.
And what's great is, I know we've been fielding a lot of questions about being able to watch these games coming up this weekend. This is from Joe Brandon from the Blackhawks. They will be streaming Saturday's game on Blackhawks.com and the Blackhawks YouTube page at 6 p.m. Central. Sunday's game will also be streamed on Blackhawks.com and
Excellent.
the Blackhawks YouTube page
There you
at
go.
3 p.m. Central. So there you go. Blackhawks YouTube, Blackhawks.com. You will be able to see both games Saturday and Sunday. So we will be able to see Connor Bedard not just through a ring video ring video at the ice. So yeah, it's going to be great to see him in that competition. Speaking of competition, you made an observation today at camp that we ended up asking Anders Sorensen about. Him, Bedard, and Wyatt Kaiser seem to be going up against each other in a lot of the drills and whatnot, the scrimmage scenarios. And yeah, I think Anders kind of alluded to the fact that it wasn't planned that way, but those guys, sometimes players in these environments, and guys like Bedard and Kaiser are wired to a way of wanting to be first in line, wanting to be first to go through a drill, or trying to line up to be like, well, I want to go up against this guy for competitive reasons. And I would say, as far as NHL caliber defensemen that are at this camp, Kaiser's at the top of the list. Korchinski and Allan and Del Mastro are there, but I would say as far as NHL readiness, Kaiser's at the top of the list. And I mean, you got Bedard there. As far as NHL readiness, he's the top of maybe even the Blackhawks roster. So it's good to see both of them go up against each other and test each other in this setting, because what better way to get ready for the season than by going up against guys who are potentially going to be in the NHL? And what better way to get ready for the season for Kaiser to go up against the best guy that's going to be on the ice all year?
Yeah, it looked to me like Kaiser was actively seeking out matching up against Bedard. And you got to say, he held his own pretty well. Like we saw when we were watching the BioSteel thing, he was just making Ryan Graves this weekend miserable.
Yeah.
Because every time you'd see Bedard in a video, there's Ryan Graves trying to chase him, getting his ankles broken by Bedard. Kaiser was able to catch up a little bit, stay with him a little bit. I would say they probably broke even in the one-on-one battles. So that's really good to see. And as we get more into camp and the preseason, we'll talk about who is most ready. But yeah, I was really impressed with that from Kaiser today. just the fact that he was like, I'm going to find this dude and go up against this dude. I wanted to ask him about it, but we sort of ran out of time in the locker room today. I was just going to go up to him and say, hey, was that on purpose? Like, it really seemed like you were doing it. But Anders Sorensen sort of confirmed without confirming that, they were sort of seeking each other out, which is cool to see.
No, you want that. You want that from a guy like Kaiser, essentially a rookie. And he's like, hey, who's the best dude here? Okay, it's Connor Bedard. I want him. I want to try and shut him down. It's going to make me better, and it's going to make Connor Bedard better going at, against, as you mentioned, Mario, arguably the best defenseman there, at least the most experienced.
Yeah.
That's what you want out of your top players. You want them to go find the top competitions. You want them to go find the top player on the other team and say, I got him. He's mine. Like, don't shy away from that. So it was great to see. I know it's a couple of drills in a rookie camp, but that's where it starts. That's where that competitiveness, that drive to be better, it starts in the practice rink, and you carry that over into the preseason games and the training camp, and then hopefully regular season, whether it's Rockford or Chicago for Kaiser, and obviously on the ice in Pittsburgh opening night for Connor Bedard.
It's going to be awesome. Can't wait.
It's a good way to get a D on your jersey. D for dog.
D for dog. Yeah. That's right.
Yes.
Speaking of Bedard and speaking of Pittsburgh and Sidney Crosby, he was actually asked about that during his presser today. So why don't we hear from Connor Bedard right now? This was after practice today. Video courtesy of one Mario Tirabassi. Hey.
How much are you looking forward to just playing hockey? I mean, there's been a lot of interviews and talk, and just now getting on the ice and being able to play some games.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we all want to do. I mean, of course, there's been a lot of photos and interviews and everything, which is great. But I want to play hockey, and that's what I love. So it's good to kind of get back here and get everything started and focus on that.
We saw that sneak peek that you had with Sid, the one-on-one. How cool was that for you?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I'm lucky enough to meet him before and spent a little time with him the other day. So obviously, one of the best players ever, and it seems like such a great, genuine guy. So it was good to spend a few, an hour or whatever it was with him.
Can you just talk a little bit about the media tour and the experience of doing that?
Yeah, it was good. It's busy, but there's so many great players there, and you get to meet a lot of new guys and kind of see what goes on behind the scenes of kind of everything. So I enjoyed it, and it was good. Seth could come along as well, and of course spend some time with him, get to know him a little better.
It's probably a rhetorical question, but you're probably just focused on making the team, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So many guys have talked this week about how close this group is, and a lot of that has to do with the off-ice development camp. How was that carried over onto the ice?
Yeah, I mean, I just got here, but today was great. Like, feels like you've known these guys for longer. I mean, just the kind of week at Dev Camp, but I think everyone feels really comfortable going to the room and talking, and even on the ice today, it was great pace, great. Everyone's competing and everything, so I think you're trying to make each other better, but off the ice, everyone gets along, and it's a fun environment.
Watching you in two-puck against Drew, what's your approach to that? How do you come up with the strategy of what to do each time?
I don't know. see where that is and try to go there, I guess, but nothing too complicated.
Anyone else you met during the media tour that you were just very keen on meeting?
I got to meet a lot of guys. Kopitar was pretty cool. I got to meet Caulfield, Morrissey, Boldy, Anders Lee, a lot of guys. Kind of go down the list. So it's pretty cool meeting all those guys.
When you meet these guys, are you studying them and picking up like little things to indoctrinate for yourself for the future?
I mean, I don't know, just meeting them, just kind of just say, hello, how are you, and nice to meet you. But I think if I was spending time with some of those guys, you always got to do that, kind of see how they approach the game, how they approach their lives. But I mean, it was pretty brief, but it was good to meet all of them.
As you're going through, is it surreal to you that like you're part of the face of the league and you're with these guys, or is it like, nope, I'm totally, everything's normal and that's, you know what I mean? Like, which way is it?
Yeah.
Is it surreal or the other way?
It's a good question, actually. I think it's a bit of both. I mean, like when you're actually playing and doing things, you want to be good and compete, and so then it's not really surreal. But sometimes you kind of go home or after practice, you're like like, damn, like, this is pretty cool. So, yeah, it's a bit of both, but I think when you're in the gym or you're on the ice, it's just hockey and you're trying to do your best.
Is there anything that you learned from somebody, whether it was working at the BioSteel camp or at the media tour, that you're thinking through and maybe implementing for yourself, or something that you took away from their work habits, or asking them a question to educate yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I think media tour is tougher just you're not on the ice with the guys or training with them, but like BioSteel camp, it's great to be on the ice and see what they do, see, little moves or kind of what plays they're making, and you can learn a lot just kind of watching those guys. I think it's great, throughout the year just watching hockey, and I think every shift, every game you can learn something. So kind of the same approach when you're with them in a practice environment.
Did the BioSteel camp feel different this year than it did last year for you?
I don't know. I was maybe a little less shy, but I think it was good both times. I think I'm still the younger guy, but I wasn't the youngest, of course, with Celebrini there, so that was good. But yeah, I think kind of the same approach going in, just trying to do the best I can. But I think this year kind of more of an emphasis on feeling comfortable in that environment.
Anything outside of hockey that you've been doing or having fun with since the last time you were in Chicago?
Nothing crazy really. Just try to play some other sports here and there, and with some buddies or whatnot. So, but nothing too interesting for you.
Are you looking forward to making a home base? Because you have been to all these different camps and all over the place basically for a good chunk of your life. Are you looking forward to having at least a few weeks, a few months where you can get into a routine?
For sure. Yeah, I mean it's a great thing. I mean after Dev Camp it was pretty chill for about a month and a bit there. I was home, and then I was in Toronto, and it was just training, nothing too odd. In the last 2 weeks, of course, with the build up to the season, it's been a little crazier, but yeah, I'm pretty pumped to just be here and be with the guys, be focused on that one thing, and that's what we all want to do.
How important was that stretch of a month, 6 weeks, where you probably needed to get away after the draft and the development camp, kind of hit a reset button, and hopefully get back here feeling refreshed after all you've been through?
For sure. I think it's so busy leading up, and obviously it's such a special night and week, and super grateful for all those memories, but it's tiring, of course, and you're kind of all over the place. You're pulled in a bunch of directions, so it's definitely nice to kind of go home for a bit, be with your family, and just kind of focus on the training and be with your friends and family and stuff.
Was it enough?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I just want to be here and play hockey, so I'm happy to be back.
I was going to ask you if that helps now to just be here, be able to simplify and focus on hockey, focus on learning about your teammates.
Yeah, for sure. I think like he was saying, I love being in a routine and having that kind of get up, go to the rink, and yeah, like you said, kind of be with the same guys every day and build those relationships and work towards a common goal of being a better team and winning games, of course. So yeah, I mean that's really exciting for all of us.
You mentioned before that you're superstitious and you're about routine. How deep does it go with the superstition?
I don't know. It's not too crazy. I just think kind of lead up to games is always the same sort of routine, and night before, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. Kind of I like it like that. It gets me in a good mental space, I find.
Was there any consideration to not playing in this prospect showcase over the weekend to be ready for NHL camp starting next week?
I think that's what'll get me ready, to be honest with you. I haven't played a game in a long time, and that's what I want to do. And I'm a rookie like any other guy here. So yeah, I mean I want to play a game so bad. It's been so long, so I'm really excited for that.
The organization is rebuilding their top to bottom everything and kind of going into a new era. When you were in development camp and when you've been on the ice here with the prospects and rookie group, do you kind of feel like something is building with you guys? Do you feel like you have a special group together?
For sure. I mean, I think just being with the guys, it's hard to kind of say, with the older guys just because I haven't been with them as much, but being at Dev Camp and obviously today, it was good to kind of grow those relationships, and everyone's just, of course, so excited to kind of be, starting their journey off and, maybe growing up together in this organization. So it's a pretty cool thing, and, we're excited to kind of continue to grow.
Excuse me if you've been asked this before, but you talk about how you got the cut on your chin there.
Yeah, I just practiced the other day, kind of collided with a guy, and I got cut, so nothing crazy.
There you have it.
Many people in the chat asking about his chin. It was actually the first question, but it was like in an informal setting. I think Ben Pope asked him about his chin, and yeah, he said he took a shoulder or something that just kind of scraped his chin. Didn't say who it was though, but
he wouldn't reveal.
He's gonna
whoever's traded first, you know who it was.
Yeah, he's gonna be fine.
It was probably Seth Jones, but he didn't want to give him any more heat. He's already under the gun for someone writing a misleading headline about him this week.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, first guy on the ice this morning though, Seth Jones.
That's what a captain does.
That's what a leader does.
That's right.
Yeah.
I only want to feed this beast because it's so
silly.
We talked about it yesterday, and nothing has changed.
Just
since then.
read the whole article, folks. That's all I say.
Yeah.
Read the whole article.
Read beyond the headline.
You'll be okay.
Especially now that AI is writing stories. Definitely be sure to read the
Allen
whole
Iverson's a
story.
writer now?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Cool.
very
Good for
eloquent.
him.
He's writing about practice.
He's writing about practice.
That's exactly.
Cool moment, as you mentioned, before we get back to the prospects, though, we saw, as we first sat down, the veterans were coming out and going across to go to the other rink. And it was kind of a cool moment. Corey Perry was there. I think it's his first day. At least he wasn't there yesterday, and he kind of stopped and chatted with Chris Kunitz for a little bit. Those guys won a Stanley Cup together.
Yep.
A lifetime ago.
2007.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was in high school.
yeah, that Stanley Cup. Yeah, exactly. That Stanley Cup is old enough to drive a car now.
Yes,
yeah,
it is,
you were in high school when they won the cup, and I was reminiscing about how old I feel that the Sammy Sosa 61, 62 home runs happened 25 years ago today, and that was the summer after I graduated high school. So
God,
yeah.
we're old. He also took some time, Corey Perry did with Kendall Coyne Schofield.
Yeah.
After their practice, met with her in the middle of the ice and talked. So if we're looking forward, by the way, to this weekend's games, unclear whether or not Bedard's going to play in both. Anders Sorensen gave the we'll see kind of a thing.
The fact that the Blackhawks are now streaming both makes me think he's playing in both.
I think he's playing in both.
I think he might play in both, yeah.
And for now, it appears the plan's going to be that he'll skate on a line with Colton Dach and Nick Lardis.
Yeah.
Cool. And Sorensen was asked, what's the thought behind that? Lardis has a lot of speed. Dach's the kind of guy that can create space, and that's kind of what you want in the line. You got all three elements you're looking for.
Yeah.
And we have more time to do this, but we should talk about Colton Dach.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about kind of like I talked about with Nolan Allan yesterday, where there just seems to be a different level of hockey maturity to him. Like his understanding of the game is a little bit deeper. Obviously, having a bigger, more NHL-ready body is a big factor for Colton Dach, but he carries himself like a leader on the ice, if that makes any sense. Like there's a certain amount of energy and confidence to his game. And Greg sort of whispered to me today, like, what do you want to bet that Colton's a better pro than Kirby? And I said, look, Kirby's got the speed, he's got the skill advantage, but up here, Kirby was always a little bit shaken, right? I think a lot of the pressure got to him. That does not seem to be an issue with Colton Dach. We'll get a better idea when we see him in games, but he's been impressive. I still think he starts in Rockford for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But I really, the more I see him, as he's impressed me, I've also started focusing on him more. And when I see him in a drill, I really isolate on what he's doing.
Yeah.
And the more I watch him, the more I like him. So, I don't know. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, getting to talk to him these last 2 days is definitely been an eye-opener for kind of the difference between, where Kirby was at just 2 years ago and where Colton is at now. The difference in speaking with them. And, Kirby always felt like, it was kind of more the script of the young NHL player. Didn't really seem like the confidence was a big factor in that too. I think when you're confident, feeling more comfortable, you can kind of open up a little bit more. And never really felt like Kirby had that aspect to him. Never really wasn't around long enough to really feel comfortable, I would say. But Colton, so far in conversations with him, he definitely seems comfortable, loose, feeling confident in that locker room, on the ice. It seems like it's definitely not something that is going to get to him all that much. And then he's got the skill to back it up for sure. I'm excited to see what he does first year pro, and I'm excited. He was looking good this time last year, going into the Tom Curvers rookie showcase and then got an ouchie in the first game and wasn't able to play the second game. So I'm excited to see what he can do in this setting now a year later, and likely playing most two, if all of his minutes with Bedard.
Yeah, and as I said to Jay, I was like, am I crazy for thinking Colton Dach could have the better professional career? No, I don't. I think Kirby Dach is the higher skilled player overall. I mean, obviously, third overall pick, whether or not that's warranted or not, but, and Colton was a second round pick. But I just think Colton may have the better overall career just because, as you mentioned, he's got like that swagger, that confidence about him, and he plays a more physical game. I think he plays a game that get him, longevity in this league. There's always going to be a spot for a guy that can create space for the high-skilled players, but can finish when need be. And, I think Kirby, we're going on to year 5 of Kirby Dach, year 4.
My God. 5.
Yeah, so we're going into his 5th year, and there's still question marks there, He still hasn't been able to do a full season. So I think Kirby's got the higher ceiling, but I think Colton has the better chance to have that more consistent, longer, productive career.
I also think it's kind of a bias in drafting too, right? Because being drafted 3rd overall comes with expectations that you're going to be a star player. And if Kirby falls short of stardom, it feels like a bust, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Colton, a second-round pick, a high second-round pick, but a second-round pick, doesn't come in with the immediate expectations. You say, hey, maybe if you squint really hard, you see a top 6 NHL player, more likely a middle 6 kind of a guy. He can kind of develop at his own pace, come into the league, play a little bit, and get better and better and better as he goes.
Yeah.
Kirby wasn't really given that luxury.
No.
He was absolutely rushed to the league. He should not have played his rookie year, for sure. We know that now. But even at the same time, anytime a third pick comes in, there's going to be immediate expectations on performance. So I also think with that in mind, people are more likely to just flat out dismiss a guy like that, whereas Colton's going to get all the patience in the world to come and join and reach his peak, whereas with Kirby, because of the draft status, it was like, all right, come on, be good. Why aren't you good yet? You're not good yet. You're not good yet. And then that starts to pile not only on the player, but on the organization and his reputation, and then it's an ugly situation for everybody.
And it was timing with Dach too, with Kirby, because there were still hopes in the front office at that time that hey, if this kid is a star right off the bat, we got a chance to make another playoff run here.
Right.
Our window is kind of, might be a tiny fraction of an inch open, and we could jar that thing back up for another year or two. And Colton's been allowed to develop. The 2 extra years in the WHL after his draft. Now, likely at least a full season in the AHL. That's so key when it comes to young players, is that development. And as we know, Kirby didn't get that development, and it's hindered his career.
Yeah, definitely. And, changing teams and then going from Chicago, who's got high expectations, to Montreal that has massive coverage and media attention. Look, he started off really well there last year. Kirby did.
Absolutely.
A lot of it comes down to how he's going to be used. And I think in the time that Martin St. Louis has had with Montreal, I think he's been using Kirby Dach in a better scenario.
Playing with Suzuki and Caulfield, it's going to get you some numbers.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, and I think it all being put in the right scenario, playing with some pretty good players, builds confidence.
Playing on the wing, weird.
Right. So he wasn't put in the right scenario here, shoehorned into being a center, and when it wasn't working, we all were like, it's not working. And they were like, no, it's going to work. It's not working. Well, and now it's starting to work in Montreal. If he can stay healthy, I think he's primed to have a very good NHL career.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the kid too. Super nice guy.
Yeah.
Really wanted to be good, worked hard to be good, and just with all the factors in and on top of a bunch of weird, flukish kind of injuries, it's very much something to his development and his confidence. But I'm really hoping that Kirby Dach figures things out and has a really solid NHL career.
If he could play 80 games this year, there's no reason why he can't have 65, 70 points if he stays on that line with those two guys.
He could.
I mean, Caulfield had injury problems last year too. So if those three guys can stay together and they play together for the full year, there's no reason why Kirby can't have 65 points this year. I hope he does it. I like Kirby Dach. You know what else I like?
What?
I like
cars.
Big butts and you cannot lie?
That too, but that's not where I was going with that one.
Oh,
but you're not wrong.
Do you like to move it?
I do like to move it, and I like.
Do you like pina coladas and getting caught?
You like to party all the time? Party all the time?
I don't like pina coladas.
Okay. Eddie Murphy.
But what the fuck was I doing? Oh, yeah.
Well, I think you were doing
cars.
Tell us the things you like.
I like cars. I like Chevys from guys named Ray. That's what I really like.
There you go.
Guys named Ray who sell Chevys. Those are my favorite. Are you in the market for new or used vehicles? If you are, then we've got great news for you because Ray Chevy in Fox Lake has just joined the CHGO team. We were talking to our pals over there at Ray Chevy, and they have this pledge. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called the Ray Price Promise. It's a guarantee that the price you see online is the price you pay when you walk into the dealership. We found that in many cases, other dealers, they like to do shady practices with you, and not the shady kinds that we like. Spoiler. They're going to raise the price on you when you come into the dealership, saying like crazy things like, are you a recent college grad? Are you active in the military? Are you a farmer? And in most cases, your answer is going to be no. And that's when they pull the rug out from underneath you and say they're going to raise the price because the price online included limited rebates that you just don't qualify. Well, at Ray, that's not the case. None of that nonsense. The price you see online is the price you're going to pay with no add-ons to the price ever. In fact, Ray will do everything possible to find additional savings for you, which may make the price even lower than what you saw online. And as one of the top-selling dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and save big at Ray Chevy because now they have over 100 Chevy Track models available starting at the low price of $21,495. And now through September 30th, all buyers can qualify for 0% financing. Make 0 payments until 2024 plus, put no money down. And best of all, pay 0 hidden fees with the Ray Price Promise. Visit Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. Serving the community since 1963. Find new roads.
And find yourself some of the best sports gear around from our friends at Foco.com, Foco.com. Get fitted out right now. Hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, banana hammocks, and everything in between. It is baseball season. Yeah, all summer you'll wear your Aloha shirts, your straw hats, your polos from Foco. But now, with the weather getting cool, sweatshirts, pajama pants, anything to keep you warm at baseball and football games. Anything you need, they've got it for you at Foco. And if you want to deck out your man cave, your she shed, and everything in between, you can get some awesome bobbleheads and signs and all those sort of things like our set pieces here. All of that stuff available at Foco. Check out Foco.com or click the link in our description below for all non-presale items. Use that promo code CHGO for 10% off at Foco.com. It wasn't only Connor Bedard today. Had a lot of good looks at other Blackhawks players, and we got the chance to chat with a few of them. Why don't we do this chronologically? I think we talked to Ryder Rolston first or Nolan Allan first?
It was Ryder Rolston.
Ryder Rolston.
Yeah.
You guys are right next to me when I got swarmed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's hear from Ryder Rolston. Hopefully the audio has been improved today from yesterday. You might remember last year we went to Notre Dame to chat with Ryder Rolston about his time at Notre Dame and being a Hawks prospect, and really came away impressed with what he had to say. And again, I think today you could see a little mature beyond his years, as most Notre Dame men are, damn it. All right, let's fire it up.
Camp felt a little more intense than the first one. How did it feel out there today?
Yeah, felt good. We had a good pace going out there. I mean, obviously we've been together now for a few days, and guys are getting a little bit more comfortable. But it's been fun. You know, a lot more battle drills today, less time with the puck. We're just getting comfortable under pressure. I think it's what we need to do before playing games this weekend, and it's been fun.
Talking to some of the guys this week, it seems that off-ice development camp really did a lot to bring this group together. How's that carried over on the ice?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing that, you know, we're kind of prodding ourselves on right now, is that was a big week for us. And, you know, a lot of us are really close from it. You know, it's not like you're going out there with guys you're not used to. It's guys that now you call brothers and are going to become your best friends, and when that's kind of the case, you want to do a little extra more for those guys. It's about doing something for the guy next to you. And, obviously I've played for teams in the past where we've prided ourselves on culture, and I like to think that, coming in here as one of the older guys, I can help bring guys together, I think. And, those are the things that are going to create a winning culture as well. So I think those are big things as well.
Coming in your first pro season, anything different in your preparation? Trying to make the team, trying to make an impression on the coaches?
Not really. I mean, they know the player I am. I know what I can do. I know, the attributes that make me a special player. And, to be honest with you, I just go out there and do my thing. I'm not going to try to be anybody else. I'm going to try to be myself. And, that's what's going to help me at the end of the day.
What's your goal personally for this week?
Yeah, I'm not trying to create too many goals. I don't want any added pressure. I'm having fun. I like to think I'm living the dream right now, and that's basically it. I'm, every day just coming here, having a good attitude, working hard, competing, and, just showing what I can do, and it's nothing more than that.
Ryder Rolston, and interesting, Andrew Sorensen went out of his way to praise Ryder Rolston's play today.
Yeah.
I forget who asked the question, but something along the lines of, have you ever seen a scenario where a guy is a better pro than he is a college player? And Sorensen sort of lit up at that and it said, yes, absolutely, I could see Ryder Rolston being more effective because he's the kind of guy that's going to thrive with a bigger workload, with more games, more competition. He is an energy player. He's got a ton of speed, finishes every check. I think Rolston, if he maxes out, is probably a third line, like a really solid third liner that can maybe add a little bit of offense. But he's certainly made an impression through 2 days with this team, and it's hard to miss him when he's on the ice. Yeah. Like I mentioned the same thing about Colton Dach, is when you see him in these drills, he stands out. He's got an odd stride, kind of a lower down, like he's kind of squatted a little bit when he skates. He also has the jersey tuck, and he's got the long strings and the long pants. He very much looks like a 90s hockey player.
Yeah.
So I think he stands out visibly, but also like in the drills, his energy stands out. He plays with a different level of intensity from, I'm not saying that other guys aren't trying as hard, but he's very visibly intense.
Yeah.
And I think that obviously that's going to endear him to a coaching staff. They all love that. But I really do think that he's a guy that, despite not putting up huge numbers in college, could come to Rockford and then eventually Chicago and be a guy you can count on for 82 games to go out, finish his checks, kill some penalties, and add some offense.
Yeah, I think that the idea of someone benefiting from an increase in talent around them to elevate their game as well, I think is something that, a lot of guys can benefit from, and he's probably one of them. And I think, last year at the time when his season ended because of a broken collarbone, he was leading Notre Dame in points. So I mean, he was one of their go-to guys last season before he ended up coming down with an injury. So yeah, another guy that is going to be in Rockford this year is going to have a chance to make an impression and fight for significant ice time at the AHL level, which I think will be really good for him. And he seems like another guy. We talk about Colton Dach feeling comfortable and confident. Rolston's another guy who feels that it seems like he has that confidence, that comfort level of being in this environment. And he even said, being one of the older guys of the group, being someone who can kind of step up as a leader within that, prospects and rookie level of players, to be able to step up and kind of be in that role. I think that's awesome. I mean, he's someone that I think, I'm not so sure that he'll ever have a long-term NHL career, but I hope that he does, because he seems like a good guy. He seems like someone who's going to, be good in any locker room that he's in. And like you said, Jay, like his skill set, I think if he could max out his skill set, he'd be a really exciting player to have in like a, top 9, middle 6 role.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what he does this year. I think he's going to be really effective with the Ice Hogs. I think he'll definitely, if he doesn't start there, he'll work his way into top 6 role. It's obvious that Anders Sorensen has taken notice, and it's a fan of him. I know, he said it was insane how fast he does stuff out there.
Yeah.
and
Everything he
that's-
does is fast, is what he said.
It literally used the word insane to describe his quickness and speed, and that's going to translate well to the pro game. I don't know what his long-term NHL future is, but he's got himself a good baseline to start. If he's effective in the AHL, there's no reason why he can't be effective in the NHL. And speed is what this team is building itself on, and he's got that. And he seems to have the hockey smarts.
Yeah,
and
I'd agree too.
He's a coachable kid. I think he's the guy that, Luke Ritchie gets to the NHL and Luke Ritchie says, "Okay, I just need you to kill penalties and play fourth line and be physical." He can do that.
Yeah.
Hey, I need you to fill in on the second line, maybe take a couple extra shots per game. He can do that. So and is willing to do whatever it takes to get there and stay there.
He's also self-aware. He knows he's not going to be a big-time scorer at the NHL level. He is very aware of that. He knows that for him to make it in the NHL, he's going to have to be that guy who plays those hard minutes, kills penalties, blocks shots, finishes checks, etc., and whatever offense comes as bonus. They're not counting on him for any offense, but with the speed he's got, he'll be able to create some on that alone.
Yeah.
But what I like about him is he just, as Eddie O used to always say, accept and execute, right? Accept your role and execute it. And Rolston already pretty much knows, if I'm ever up here, if I ever play a game at the United Center, my role is going to be a pain in the ass to play against.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he's embraced it, and that's the way he's playing in practice, showing not only Anders Sorensen, but all the Hawks brass up there in their own little skybox at Fifth Third, that he's willing to do what it takes to play wherever they need him to play.
Yeah, he has that element to his game, too, of being, not necessarily Samuel Savoie-esque pesky, but being able to, play physical and kind of, play on that edge and get under the opponent's
Chris
skin.
Versteeg pesky.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a difference between, being Andrew Shaw and Chris Versteeg. Chris Versteeg had more skill, but he was kind of sneaky.
Yeah.
Sneakily hit you in the nuts as he skates by instead of obviously
Can't be
hitting you in
so,
the nuts.
a little more subtlety to
Eric
it.
asked in the chat, is Ryder Victor Stahlberg, or is there skill there? Victor was so fast, but he couldn't finish. Ryder Rolston is nothing like Victor Stahlberg.
Yes. Stahlberg
They're both
was
fast, but Ryder Rolston has work ethic, which is something Victor Stahlberg did not really have. That's why he was always in Coach Q's doghouse, and why he was not kept after his first contract.
Q
and why
would
he was
love Rolston.
Oh my God!
Oh, Q would love Rolston.
So the work ethic is there.
Yes.
I don't know, I wouldn't call him a highly skilled player, but there is some skill there.
The skill is gravy.
They're different players.
Yeah.
Stahlberg was a guy that was supposed to be this fast guy that's going to score a bunch of goals. Well, he got the first part of that right. Rolston is a guy that is fast, but is more of a role player and will be, could be the type of guy that can play important roles on winning teams.
Yeah, and I'll say this as far as Stahlberg, was it yesterday we talked about speed in hockey and how it's kind of not just necessarily foot speed. Stahlberg was straight line speed. With Rolston, it's a lot of more the speed in which he does things.
Yeah,
the energy level that he puts out. The effort level that he puts out. It always seems like it's going at full bore, and it doesn't necessarily mean is he a straight line, goal line to goal line as fast as Victor Stahlberg? No, but the speed in which he does things, he processes things, he makes a pass, gets a shot off, gets into a play, gets physical. The speed of which he does things, I think, is the difference there, and not necessarily just straight up foot speed. And I think that's something that when you get to the professional level, like we said yesterday, you got to be able to do things, do them fast, because everything gets faster at the professional level, and especially at the NHL level, everything is faster. And Anders Sorensen talked about it today in relation to Antti Sarella, who he's getting used to smaller ice now after playing in Finland for a few years of his professional level. So everything's condensed, everything's faster, everything's going to happen at a much quicker pace. So Rolston, it seems like he is at that level where he's going to pick up on that and be able to hang with that professional speed.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of part of also the difference of saying, well, this guy's fast, like Victor Stahlberg or Andres Athanasiou. Like, yes, they are straight line fast, but being able to do things fast, I think is a difference maker there.
Yeah. All right, next guy we talked to was defenseman Nolan Allan, who has stood out really to me both days. Very solid defensively. Let's hear what he had to say after practice today.
I talked to Ryder talking about the intensity of day 2 compared to day 1. What was it like out there today?
Yeah, I mean, it was another intense day. I mean, even the first day I was, I had to stay in the weight room a little bit longer because the body's definitely feeling it. Just the high intensity reps of everything. But, it's nice to be able to get back competing like that.
I've heard a lot of guys talk about closeness of this group. A lot of that's up to do with your off-ice weakness. How's that translating to the on-ice stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we met everyone here at development camp, the freshly drafted guys and, some guys we haven't seen in a couple of years. So, it's nice to, get all of us young guys together and with a young group like this. I mean, at development camp, that week off the ice was huge. And, now I think it's going to translate into our game and, really be able to gel together.
I want to ask you specifically about, a left-handed shot. The organization's got a lot of left-handed shots, so eventually someone's going to have to move to the right side. What kind of a challenge does that present a defenseman having to play on the offside?
Yeah, it's a little bit harder. I mean, on breakout passes and, you got the puck in the neutral zone, if you can get yourself into some bad spots sometimes. I mean, you just have your backhand in the middle. So I guess it's important your positioning is really important, and kind of, I guess, where you have your stick to be able to kind of make those plays, I think.
Is that something you'd be comfortable adjusting to, or how long would it take to become comfortable?
I think the first couple games, my first couple games on the right side, I definitely noticed, I'd catch myself in some positions where it was harder to make plays, but I feel like as the more you play on the right side, the more you kind of, I guess, know where those spots are and, how you gotta make plays and how you gotta position yourself.
As a lefty, if you're coming off the right board, offensively, is that a bit of an advantage being on the forehand?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think that's one of the things that I found too is, it's a little bit harder in the D zone and the neutral zone to make some passes and some plays, but it's nice in the offensive zone when you come off the wall, you're right on your forehand. It's easy to get a quick shot or make a play.
What's your goal personally? First pro season?
Yeah, my goal right now for this camp is basically just to show the organization that I'm ready to play pro hockey, and I can make that next jump to either Rockford or Chicago. So that's just my main goal right now.
All right, that was Nolan Allan. We also talked to Kevin Korchinski. We're going to play that right now and then talk about both guys on the back end of Kevin Korchinski.
Day 2 at camp, how'd it go today?
It was good. Obviously getting sweat out there. Obviously getting the kind of summer juices out of there. Obviously, a lot of us haven't been kind of getting that kind of game intensity. So getting to play practice with the really good hockey players has been awesome. Just getting ready for the weekend. I think we're really excited to get some games going.
A lot of these guys have been talking about the closeness of this group and how that off-ice development camp this summer. How is that carried over into the ice?
Yeah. Obviously, a lot of buddies, the guys that you got to know through having that off-ice development camp. So obviously this weekend that's going to really help playing for each other, playing with one another. That kind of camaraderie. It's going to really help us. So it's awesome.
Do you have any indication from the brass, the coaches, what's the plan for you? Do you know what the season holds? Do you expect to start here in Chicago? Do you expect to go back to Seattle, or are you just going to do the best you can and see what happens?
Yeah, I think just do the best you can, take it day by day, obviously. Just try and put my best foot forward, get better every day and learn as much as I can, and just take it from there.
What's your personal goals for this weekend coming up, these exhibition games?
I think just kind of play my game. Obviously, we want to win those games. A lot of bragging rights, no guys on the other teams that you want to have the bragging rights against. But just play my game, learn as much as I can, and just
Under Sorensen said you looked bigger, thicker this year coming into camp. Anything different you did coming in, or just?
Just kind of my normal routine. Obviously, kind of maturing, getting older, you can kind of put on that weight. So it's been awesome, and just feeling really strong on the ice.
That was obviously Kevin Korchinski. Obviously. For sure, it was Connor Bedard earlier.
Yes.
We'll get it. We'll get it out of these guys eventually. But
they got a lot on their minds right now. Talking to the media is last on the list.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Korchinski doesn't seem to know what the plan is for himself, or at least pretended not to.
He's not telling you, that's for sure.
No, I think we talked about this a lot this offseason, and you have to think he's going to play at least those 10 games that he can play, or 9, whatever
9
it is,
games,
before he goes back to junior and see what he's got. And look, there's nothing watching him that makes me feel like, oh no, he absolutely can't handle it. But I think if all things being equal, if we're not factoring in it's either Chicago or Seattle for Kevin Korchinski, if he was Rockford eligible, I'd probably have him third in my list of ready NHL defensemen in terms of these guys who are here this week.
Yeah.
I would have Kaiser, Allan, and then him.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think if you're looking for what the Blackhawks don't have, I think Korchinski would be probably higher on that list, because they don't necessarily have a guy who you could say is more that dynamic offensive defenseman besides Seth Jones. So yeah, I think if I were tearing it up, I'd say Korchinski would be a little bit higher than Allan, just based off of Blackhawks need. But look, watching him at this camp, it does not feel like he is going to be pushed into anything that he is not physically or mechanically ready for. Like I think everything is there to play at the professional level. Could he play all 82 games and be just fine? I think so. But I think what's best for development is, yes, getting some NHL games, whether it's just the 9 so you don't burn his contract, or play him up to the World Juniors and then let him go and play for Canada. And then when that's done, come back, go to Seattle, and ride the wave out the rest of the season there in Seattle. I think that could be a viable option as well. But if he's playing, if he plays past the 9 games and he's playing well enough and doesn't look like he's drowning out there, screw it. If you play past 9 games, you burned it anyway. If he can play the full season here, why not?
Yeah.
Like, at this point, he's not burying anybody on the roster that he's not supposed to. If he's that good to play him. Like, I don't have any doubts that he could handle it.
And the fear is that, that if a guy goes through too many growing pains, that it could stunt their development.
Right.
I don't get that vibe from Korchinski. He just doesn't seem to have that kind of a personality. And again, we're basing this off of 2 development camps, one of which was off ice.
Yeah.
And what we've seen so far in 2 days. But I don't know. I feel like this staff is much more cognizant of that sort of thing and much more cautious about that kind of thing, where, look, the track record Kyle Davidson has so far, it's not a long one, but it's a good one, has been patient.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel the need to get somebody up here just because, but at the same time, I don't think he's also going to just hold a guy down just because either. Right. So if Korchinski comes up and shows he can do it, I think he's going to have every chance to do it.
Yeah, I think the real measuring stick is going to be those preseason games he gets into.
Yeah.
Because right now he's doing drills against guys at his own experience level, his own age, where he's obviously one of the best players on the ice. Let's see him out there against NHL players in the preseason. He looked good last preseason.
Yeah,
held his own.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him look better this preseason than he did last preseason. And if he does, I'm okay with him starting the year here. I'm okay with him playing the year here. I mean, every player has his own trajectory. It's not a got to have 1 year, 2 years in the AHL before. No. And the fact that it's Luke Richardson and Kevin Dean on this coaching staff, 2 guys that played a lot of games at defense in the NHL, they're not going to give him more than he can handle.
Right.
They're not going to put him in a place to fail. If they see him struggling, they're going to pull it back.
Yep.
And they're going to say, okay, you can't handle this right now. We noticed, so we're going to pull it back. We're going to put you on the 3rd pair with somebody, another veteran or something, and we're gonna take a little bit of responsibility away from you and get your confidence back up, and then we'll ease you back there.
And they're going to be able to identify that better than anyone who's coached them before too. Like, that he's clearly, he's struggling out there. Maybe something that the fans can't see or we can't see, But Richardson and Dean, they know what to look for, and they know what it looks like when a guy's out there floundering.
Yeah.
And needs a break or needs a workload reduction or whatever. So I feel very confident with whatever decision they make about Korchinski. If they think he's ready, then he'll play. I don't think there's no scenario in which I think they're going to go, we're not so sure, but let's just see.
Right.
They don't operate that way.
If they're not certain, they won't just throw him out there
to
the Wolves. Like it's definitely a staff that I think about sometimes as just like, man, if this staff would have had Adam Boquist, if this staff would have had Kirby Dach, could we be talking about a much different trajectory for guys like that? But that's all in the past. But it's the confidence in managerial decisions that Kyle Davidson is making, coaching decisions that Luke Richardson and his staff are making. The confidence is in those guys in those roles through the roof from what we've experienced in the last handful of years.
Absolutely. And we had in the chat earlier, the Steve asked if Nolan Allan does he look NHL ready? I mean, for me personally, it's hard to say that from drills. I don't know if he's NHL ready, but he definitely looks like he's on his way to being NHL ready.
Yeah.
Like the progression he has made over the past 2 years from that first development camp to last year to now the rookie camp, he's made some strides, and you see it. He's a more confident guy. He sticks out. He's got some leadership aspects to him as well. You know, the stuff that he told you about playing on his offside, I mean, he obviously has the hockey brain, too.
Right.
To be a successful defenseman, especially a defensive defenseman, which he is, you got to have that cerebral ability to identify plays before they happen, to know where you need to be. And the way he explained playing on his offhand, it was very impressive for a young kid and how he broke it down. So I don't know if he's NHL ready right now, but he's definitely progressing and getting closer. I think AHL time, a full season or at least 3/4 of a season in the AHL is the best for him and Del Mastro. I know we're excited for these kids.
Yeah,
take
take your time.
Here. Guys like that, guy like Nolan Allan, a full year, a year and a half, 2 years in the AHL, not going to kill anything. Not going to. There's no need to rush any of these guys if you don't have to.
Yeah.
But again, if he's proven he can handle it, he'll be here. If not, he can go to the AHL.
Mm-hmm.
Del Mastro can go to the AHL. The difference with Korchinski is he can't. So it's a different situation. But I think Allan is definitely on his way to being a solid NHL defenseman. Probably not this year. Maybe not even at the start of next year. But he's on his way, and it's encouraging. And I know No Roy's Just Rage mentioned that last draft class for He Who Shall Not Be Named. It's a pretty darn good draft class. We
the last two had some good players.
We dump on him a lot, and rightfully so, but we'll give him credit. That last class gave us Nolan Allan. None of us liked the pick when it happened. And that wasn't a shot at Nolan Allan.
It's too soon.
You could have got him in the second or third round.
And that remains correct.
And the Colton Dach pick, someone in the chat asked earlier, was that
a nepotism pick?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was.
But he's still a good player.
Yeah.
Had we didn't have Kirby in the system, would we have drafted him in the second round? Probably not. But again, he probably could have been there in the third round. You maybe stretched a little bit for him.
Yeah.
But it's still a good pick. Ethan Del Mastro was part of that draft class.
Yep. Reichel.
The Reichel pick is so far looking pretty good.
Jalen
Jalen Lipin was 7th round pick. And I think he's
was Isaac Phillips in that group too?
He was in the Reichel year.
So yeah.
Yes. So yeah, the last two draft classes from He Who Shall Not Be Named has produced
Drew Comezzo.
some good picks again. But again, I think a lot of that also has to do with the fact that he made those picks, but it's the new regime that's handling the
developing
them.
Yes,
that
true.
helps.
That's a big part of it.
That's more important than making the pick in my eyes.
And I think we're all very excited for these players. Where the focus on the Blackhawks right now is all the prospects, is all the rookies. They're the ones sitting in the locker stalls right now. It is very exciting to see these players that are young, up and coming. We all have a lot of hope for, but yes, it is going to take some time.
They're not all going to pan out.
Yeah, and not all of them are going to pan out with the Blackhawks. There's going to some of these guys will be trade bait. Some of these guys will, they'll be Kirby Dach, and it won't work out here, and they'll go elsewhere. Some of these guys may never reach the NHL potentials that some of them may have, and yeah, Nolan Allan, Ethan Del Mastro, like these guys could take, like you said, Greg, 2 full AHL seasons before they are ready to take on a full NHL workload. We were talking about it in a different topic discussion before the show. Some of the players that played in Rockford for multiple seasons before getting to the NHL level. It just takes that time. So yeah, I know we're all very excited for these guys, but it is a lot to ask for 19 and 20-year-olds, a whole group of them, to all be ready for the NHL at the same time. It's just not going to happen.
This rebuild is like baking a cake. Put the cake in the oven. You got to have the cake in the oven for 45 minutes. If you take the cake out of the oven at 25 minutes, it's going to look good, but you're going to cut into it, and it's going to be a really bad cake. You got to let it bake.
Yeah.
You got to let it get the full baking.
Probably
so you
gonna
get the
get sick.
full maximum. Yeah.
I love cake.
Let it go. Let it take its time. I know we're excited. Connor Bedard did not end the rebuild.
No.
He shortened it, but he took a year off the back end of it, not the front end. Still a long way to go.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys that we're seeing this week, they need their time. They need to go to Rockford. They've got to go back to juniors. There's still guys in college this year that aren't a part of this camp.
Yep.
There's a lot of things to be excited for, but we can't rush it. And Kyle Davis is not going
No,
to
he's
rush
not.
it. He's
Yeah.
proven that. So things are trending in the right direction. And this is going to be a fun year. It's going to be a fun year, even if it's just a couple of these kids that play. It's going to be a fun year. I can't wait. Like these last 2 days has gotten me so ready for the season. Next week is training camp. Just bring it on.
What kind of cake? Chocolate, velvet?
Any kind. What's your favorite cake?
Banana cake?
Banana cake?
Your banana. That's more of a banana bread.
Banana bread?
But you need to bake a banana bread too.
Yeah.
Do you like walnuts in your banana bread?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not a peanuts guy.
Peanuts in your banana bread?
No, thank you.
No, okay.
All right. Well,
I'm hungry now.
all I know is the future's very bright.
You're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait to bake a cake when you get home.
Yes, I'm gonna put on a pair of sunglasses.
That's
and
it, we're
bake a
getting cake.
Yeah, gonna bake a cake wearing my Shady Rays.
There you go.
At home because they protect me from the sun and the heat coming out of my oven as I wait for my championship cake to be finally done. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for this nice warm weather we're enjoying right now and for the next few days with their premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Their durable frames and extremely clear optics are perfect for your outdoor adventures. Like my outdoor adventures this weekend, I will have my Shady Rays on at Douglas Park all weekend for Riot Fest. And if I break my pair of sunglasses moshing to some band from my high school, I won't be moshing. But maybe I get caught in a pit, or most likely I trip over a rock and they go flying off my head. If I break my sunglasses, my Shady Rays at Riot Fest, they're going to send me a brand new pair, and that's the same. Goes for anybody. No questions asked. Even on day one, you break or lose your pair, you're getting a brand new pair sent right back to you quickly, too. Like within 2 days, you're going to get your new pair. Together with their customers, Shady Rays is providing much-needed support to nonprofit partners throughout the U.S. through pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with MS the outdoor adventure of a lifetime. Shady Rays is making an impact in your community and others like it now and for years to come. If you don't love your Shady Rays, you're going to, but just in case, maybe you want to exchange them for a different pair, you can do that for free. Or you can just return them for free completely within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving you their best deal of the season. Head over to ShadyRays.com. Put 2 or more pairs of their polarized sunglasses in your shopping cart. Use the promo code CHGO at checkout, and you're going to get 50% off that order. So you can finally, what have you been waiting for? Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Not all of them work at CHGO either.
Not all of them, but a lot of them. That's for damn sure. And hey, you know who made us feel good in Chicago sports this week? It wasn't the Bears.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it
it wasn't.
Connor Bedard.
Yep.
Arriving. Just being in the presence really made us just feel like we were better at hockey automatically. And if you want to feel better, Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your football season and to get through the pain of a football season, no matter where you are on your cannabis journey. They've got easy online ordering and in-store pickup and a great transparent loyalty program called Sunnyside Rewards. I talk all the time about my favorite brands, Mindy's and Good News, but if you're looking for the highest quality flower, that is the actual marijuana you put in a paper and light it and smoke it, Cresco is the brand to go to. Reliably excellent cannabis, consistent quality, and they've been making it for years. Flowers, vapes, concentrates, pre-rolls. Cresco is the company for you. You also got High Supply, Floracal, Wonder, and Remedy. And now through October 15th, head to sunnyside.shop. Use that code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your whole order. It's one use per customer, but anyone can use that code, not just new customers. Pick up everything you need to elevate your football season at Sunnyside. You must be 21 plus or an Illinois Med Card holder. That is sunnyside.shop, promo code CHGO25.
It is officially Oktoberfest season. And what better way to ring in the Oktoberfest season than with some Goose Island beer from our friends Goose Island, the proud CHGO beer sponsor that they are, and Chicago's beer since 1988. Of course, it's Oktoberfest season. You also have the year-round lineup of beers from Goose Island that are delicious and always good to crack open and enjoy. You got the full pocket pills, the everyday beer that Goose Island beer brewers are drinking. You have the Beer Hug family of beers, the Imperial IPAs that are 9.9 ABV and dangerously easy to drink. And on these golden sunny days, what better way to reach for a golden can of 312, their wheat ale, their staple of their year-round lineup. You can get all of these beers and more ultra-fresh brewery exclusives at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or you can come to our neck of the woods and go to their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Again, that is the Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
All right, we are back tomorrow, same time, 2:30 tomorrow. Hawks will be on the ice before they head to St. Paul. No media availability, so we won't have any post-practice stuff.
I don't know if they're going to let us back in the locker room after what happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, Emma almost got her our credentials taken away because she stepped on the logo today.
Not just stepped on it, walked across it.
Oh,
she wiped her feet on the logo.
Yeah.
No, Emma, you
And
didn't.
Bad.
Oh,
And then the one
no,
thing we told her not
Emma.
to do, she did it.
Yeah.
I thought it was excessive that she picked it up off the floor and blew her nose on it.
Yeah.
I was
she, didn't
like,
need
wow.
she didn't need to put out her cigarette on the logo.
She scooted across it like a dog with an itchy butt, just right across the logo.
That was a little much, Emma.
It was so embarrassing.
Yeah, it was tough.
Oh,
Don't worry, we've all done it. I got yeah. Sorry, you were nervous. It's understandable. It's like you didn't catch a forearm shiver from James Wisniewski like I did when I got it. So
Yeah,
you're okay.
We do have a
God for continuing the bit. Yeah. What if we told you there was a player who exceeded all expectation when he joined the league and is now a free agent, ready to be signed? You guys know where I'm going with this. Your commitment to the bit is
Thank you.
impressive.
Thank you.
I hope you can make your rent this month because. Sorry.
$1 at a time.
Yeah. We'll get to that Slovakian game at some point.
Eventually.
We should try to raise the price and see if he keeps doing it. Might be a $5 fine
go.
from now on.
Yeah.
See how it goes. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Let's price gouge the.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
A quick
Super
note:
chats.
Blackhawks confirmed Kyle Davidson will be speaking to the media Tuesday at 11 a.m. So Tuesday
We'll
we'll
be there.
hear from Kyle Davidson, and
Fun.
we'll bring you all the fun stuff from that. Should be a good one.
So tomorrow we'll give you a little bit of an update on what we saw yesterday, or tomorrow, just a little kind of casual escape before they leave, and then we're going to finally answer the rest of your mailbag questions for Monday. It's been a busy week because hockey's back, so thanks for being here with us. On your way out, smash that like button for us, and we'll talk to you tomorrow at 2:30 on the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast.